welcome to Worship Tutorials. We've got a new set of Tone Match patches for you today. This is a special one. Anytime it's a vintage amp, it's cool. But when it's vintage Fender black panel amp, that's about as cool as it gets in guitar world. So this is a 1967 Fender Vibrolux. Now, if you're not familiar with the Vibrolux, it was introduced in the late 50s. It's a 40 watt amp, so it's double the wattage of a Deluxe Reverb, for example, almost double. I like to think of it as it's a little more mid-focused, a little more mid-forward. That could have to do with the circuit itself, but it probably has a lot to do with the fact that it's a 210 combo versus a 112 like on a Deluxe Reverb. So the Vibrolux, it does the sparkly Fender clean thing, but it does it with a little bit more mid-range, which I personally like. This is my personal favorite Fender amp that we have anyway. The other thing that I love about the Vibrolux is when you push it with gain or when you just turn the amp up, it sounds better overdriven. To us, it's tighter, especially the low end. It stays tighter and a little more refined. It just has a really nice overdriven tone. I think that extra mid-range in it helps as well, helps it cut through. But it's just a really cool amp. Ours is almost all original. It has one original speaker in it. The other speaker, it came with Oxford, so one is the original Oxford that was in it. The other speaker that was in the combo when we picked it up is a vintage Oxford, but it's not the original. We put the microphones on the original speaker because it sounded better as well. So you're kind of getting the experience of an all original vintage 67 Vibrolux. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like. We'll go through some of gain staging. This is the clean tone. Sounds like this. Now we've set it on the patches here. By the way, it's available for Helix, HX Stomp, POD Go, for Fractal, Axe-Fx 3, FM3, FM9, available for Kemper, and when the marketplace opens for Quad Cortex, it'll be available there as well. This is the clean tone. It's gonna overdrive a little, especially on the bridge pickup on a Telecaster here. So. So you can hear that mid push that exists in this amp. Already you're starting to get a sense of like that overdriven sound. So I'm gonna go through the gain options. Oh, I forgot, we did something special with this. Bradford, we put a fuzz factory in it.
Yes, we did.
That's right. So first thing I'll do is show you what the overdrive sounds. So you've got a King of Tone and an 808. 808's got to be standard issue for Fender amps, right? Especially black panel Fender amps, because they've got more of a mid-scoop sound. Anyway, here's King of Tone. I'll go clean and then turn it on. And 808, first off, then on. Now we added a fuzz on this one. Sometimes we like to throw that in from time to time on these different patches. Usually we go with a legacy fuzz that kind of mimics the Scarab Deluxe from Basic Audio that I have on my board. This time we wanted to go something different, so we added the Helix model of the Fuzz Factory. If you're curious, that's the industrial fuzz. I had to pull it up there. So this is the industrial fuzz, which again models a Fuzz Factory. It's pretty gnarly on this one. It's got like that, it will kind of choke out like a fuzz does and does that zippery thing, but it sounds pretty massive. So here we go. So you gotta manually turn that off. It just keeps on going. That is a cool tone. I didn't even show you on the neck pickup. We got to do that too. Same kind of thing, off and then on. Here you go. Okay, that's the fuzz. It's different, it's cool. We put it in a snapshot as well with actually some delay, which we thought was a pretty neat effect with the fuzz. Speaking of, let's talk about delays. So we've given you 3 in this patch. The first delay is an 1/8 note delay. It's a subtle delay. It's to us, it's there. You don't notice it, but when you stop playing, you hear it. All right, so it just kind of lays a little ambient bed underneath you. Of course, there's a dotted 1/8 delay. Okay, again, it's not going to be terribly prominent. If you want more of that, of course, you can just increase the mix or make it brighter. Both of those will make it feel more apparent. And we've given you a dual stereo delay. This is going to be quarter and dotted 1/8 together. Great for ambient stuff, great for big lead lines if you really want to spread everything out, make it feel like you're, filling an entire, arena full of sound. It sounds like this. Okay, let's talk about reverbs. The first verb that you get is this plate verb. This is sort of our basic always-on plate verb. If you want this amp to be a little more true to form, of course you can swap in that 63 spring. Just keep in mind the spring reverb in the Helix, especially the 63, takes quite a bit more DSP. So one of the main reasons we stick with the plate, even on like these vintage Fender amps, is because it consumes less DSP. We can put more stuff in the patch. So if you want the spring, of course you can just put it in. but you might have to take something else out. Keep that in mind. All right, so that's the plate verb. Then we've added a big dynamic hall reverb. This is our favorite of the ambient delays. Sounds awesome. I'll play it and then I'll kick on the dual delay so you can hear that. Big gain. Dynamic hall reverb is awesome. We love it. Okay, we've got two modulation options for you here. We've got tremolo and chorus. So here's the trem. Of course, it's going to be, you know, it's going to sound right at home with this vintage Fender thing, because a lot of these amps have tremolo built into them. The last one we have is chorus. Sounds like this. Okay, let's talk quickly about snapshots. We've delivered this patch with 8 snapshots. You've got clean, drive, drive plus, and P&W lead across the bottom. This is sort of our gain staging. So clean to drive. I'll just play all the way through them. They sound like this. Across the top, we've given you access to other types of sounds: ambient clean, tremolo clean, fuzz lead, and then swells. So we've already heard this ambient clean. Sounds like this. If you play this patch in church, please use the fuzz lead. It is so cool. It sounds huge. It cuts. It's not that unlike, you know, a big praise and worship type of lead just with drives or even distortion, but it's just got a little bit more hair and a little bit more juice behind it. So use it. All right. Last thing, swells sound like this. That's the 1967 Vibrolux patch for Line 6 HX family of products, also for Kemper, also for Fractal. Links to download are below. I love this amp. I feel like I kind of got lucky finding it. Picked this amp up and the 1994 Matchless SC30 in the same trip, and a vintage Marshall Governor Overdrive. We got to do a video about that pretty soon too. And the Supro, which you can get if you have the coupon code. It's free.
If you read your email. If
you got your emails, that coupon code still works. So you can get the Supro, the vintage Supro Thunderbolt. What do we call it? The Super Bolt, something like that. The Thunder Super Thunder. I don't know. You can get it for free. All those amps in one trip, and this Vibrolux is pretty special. You can get it in your modeler. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.